Hey guys, it's Lily Pad Polish, and today I will be showing you how to recreate this rainbow gradient nail art design. This was a little bit difficult and it took some trial and error, but I figured out how to do this, and I didn't even use French tip vinyls or stencils. So if you want to know how I created this design, then just keep on watching. Starting off, I'm using my yellow stopper base coat, and I like to use this as a peel off base coat. So because I don't have actual French tip guidelines, they're very cheap at any local store like Target or anything like that, but I don't have any, so I figured out a little bit of a hack. So I just rip off a piece of Scotch tape, and then I like to use some nail clippers because I figured that since the nail clipper is the shape of a nail, like it's curved, that if I use that and then just kind of rip it off like that, it kind of makes a curved French tip sticker. I have also tried using these circle labels, and these work good as well, but I found that I got a lot of bleeding with these because they're not as sticky or adhesive as the actual Scotch tape. So if you have just regular Scotch tape and nail clippers, I would recommend that. And of course, it depends on what kind of nail clipper you have, but this tends to work for all of my nails except for my thumb. I did use this for my thumb, but this usually works for the width of my nail personally, but of course everyone is different. Okay, so using the Scotch tape that I cut, I'm just going to place it, and as you can see, it fits perfectly for my nail personally, and then I like to keep the sides because then I don't have to apply liquid latex. So I'm just doing that, and then I'm going to grab some white and paint it on. So this is a really good hack. I don't really know how this came to mind, but the labels, I just really didn't like that it kept bleeding through. I had to clean up my nail almost every single time I used it. So I figured that this would probably work better because Scotch tape is a lot more sticky, and it worked. So I'm just going to take some tweezers and carefully peel it up. And if you didn't like the fact that Scotch tape is super sticky, you can just put it on the back of your hand to take away some of that stickiness. And then I'm just going to peel it off. And there we go. And I'm really particular about my French tip, so I will clean this up, but it's not 100% necessary. So to clean this, I'm just going to use a brush like this and just kind of straighten out that curved line. It's not that big of a deal, but it was a little too bumpy for my personal preference. And if you got anything on your skin, of course, clean it up as well. I just barely got a little bit right here, so it's not too bad. But overall, this turned out very, very well. Can I just say how gorgeous a basic French tip is? I love doing this. I rarely do this on my nails because, of course, I love to do crazy, weird designs on them. But I love the way this looks. It just looks really classy. But yeah, by the way, you can also use a circle band-aid. They're kind of like the shape of these. You can also use that if you don't have any of the ones that I showed you, but I'm sure most people have pieces of Scotch tape and nail clippers lying around, so that's why I showed you guys that one. But look how pretty this looks. I am in love. If I could have this on my nails 24/7, I totally would, but it's just no fun. And finally, before we get to the fun stuff, I'm going to apply some quick dry top coat. and this is IMN, I think. Yeah, INM Out The Door top coat, and making sure to cap the free edge. Okay, so it's been about 2 hours. I had lunch and my belly is full. So if the lighting and stuff is off, I apologize in advance. But let's get started on the fun part of this French manicure. So I'm going to be adding some liquid latex, and I have gotten asked a few times what this is. This is just regular liquid latex. It's not specifically for nails, like the Bliss Kiss Simply Peel one, but it works just as well. So I like to use that, and it's from Amazon, and I think it comes in tons of colors, but of course I had to get blue. But I'll have that linked down below in the description box, as I do with everything else that I used. So yeah, I'm not doing it all around because we're only focusing on the tips of our nails, of course. So I'm just doing that on the bottom. Okay, and now we're going to let that dry a little bit, which shouldn't be too long, and then we're going to add the tape again. Okay, so now that we have our tape on, we're going to begin the sponging. So I'm going to be using a small piece like this. I'm not using a regular size because I feel like that's a waste, so I kind of just cut off the tip of this, as you can see. So that's what I'm going to be using for the gradient. Okay, so I have now enlarged my sponge. I don't know if you can tell, but I like to soak it in water just to dampen it, and it completely changes the way the gradient turns out. It blends out so much better, so this is the only way I do gradients now. Starting off with the colors of the ring finger, I'm using China Glaze's Bite Me. And then the next color I will be using is China Glaze's Lip Smakin Good. And I'm going to roll it on, and then I'm going to dab the sponge on my finger. And before it dries, I'm going to be getting some tweezers to peel off the tape. And as you can see, the result is very good. Next, we're going to use China Glaze None of Your Risky Business. And for the yellow, I'm going to use China Glaze Whip It Good. And then once again, I'm just going to roll it on and then dab it. And that might need a second coat, but I'll do that off camera. Okay, and now I'm going to once again peel it off. Just like that. For the ring fingernail, I'm going to be using China Glaze's Lime After Lime. And for the blue, this one is called I Got a Blue Attitude, I think. Let me check. What I like about blue. Sorry. So Lime After Lime and what I like about blue. And then I'm going to roll it on and then dab. And I think that this too will probably need a second coat off camera. And I don't like to do it on camera just because once is enough. I think you guys know how to do it after one time, but yeah. And now I'm going to peel it off. And lastly, for the pinky fingernail, I'm going to use China Glaze's Come Rain or Shine. And then this one is China Glaze's I Got a Blue Attitude. And this is totally purple, so I don't know why it's called that, but it's a beautiful polish. And finally, I'm going to roll it on my nail and then dab it on. And the reason why I like to do that is because I like to roll it so that its placement is where I want it to be, and then I dab it for the blending process of the gradient. And now I'm going to finally peel the last one off. This one is a little tricky. Okay. There we go. And as you can see, they are not perfect. I still have some cleaning up to do, but you already saw me clean up my previous one with the white, so I'll just do this off camera super quickly. So cleanup is all done, and the last step is of course to top coat all of my nails, and I'm using a fast drying top coat, the same one that I used previously. It's INM Out The Door. And of course cap the edge for a longer lasting manicure. And this is the finished design. I am totally obsessed with this mani. I love everything and anything rainbow, so this is totally up my alley. And I can't pinpoint who the first person who did this was, but I did originally see this on Miss White on Instagram. I will link her down below, but that's where I first saw this, and then I continued to see it by multiple people. So yes, this is the finished look, and I hope it was helpful and that you enjoyed. And if you did, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up and subscribed. And leave a comment down below letting me know what you would like to see from me next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!